Any mold in a crawl space is too much mold. If you have mold in your crawl space, essentially you want to start by getting the mold remediation company to address the mold, whether it be going in and actually removing mold from materials found in a crawl space. Any mold in your crawl space is bad. Like I said, you're breathing about 60% of the air that's coming from your crawl space, and if you can smell your crawl space and there's mold, you're breathing mold. So it's not good. Anytime that you're dealing with mold and it's in a crawl space, reiterate back to the 60%. If you have, say, a family member or a friend come over and they have respiratory issues and those issues increase when they're at your house, it just hasn't affected you yet. You're still breathing that air that is already affecting your relative or your family member. You may want to address that. I mean, mold essentially is what you would call a silent killer, and it will affect your health to the point where you won't know it's affecting your health because it has no qualms about whether you're black, white, rich, poor. If you're breathing mold, it will break down your health system and you end up having issues. Minor, again, would be one little spot of mold. Always keep in mind, if you can see one little spot of mold, there's always two. What you can't see, I mean, similar to like an iceberg. You see 10% of the iceberg, the other 90%'s underwater. Whereas you see 10% mold, the other 90% might be on the other side of that finished wall. It's where it's not an issue until it's an issue. Anytime that you're running into an area where there's mold, the last thing you want to do is disturb it. Don't try and scrub it off the wall. It's just going to come back. But anytime you go to try and scrub it or let's say even ventilate it, kind of get some air circulation, all you're doing is blowing all that mold spores around. And what that does is that creates an area somewhere else in the house where mold can spark up and start to become a problem. I see it a lot, man, where they'll go in, oh, well, we scrubbed the out of this. Yeah, how you feeling about that? I don't feel so hot today. I wonder why. Crawlspace waterproofing systems is a good way to address mold altogether. Vapor barrier system in a crawl space would help with that. All of which has to be tied to a sump pump to help address water. I mean, it's all for naught if you don't take the proper steps and 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't go 1, 3, 5, 9. You got to go 1, 2, 3, 4.